I'm your host, Jessica Flowers, and welcome to my podcast where I, a 30-something-year-old millennial, attempt to navigate life with a dash of humor and a heap of nostalgia because, let's face it, reliving the good old days is way more fun than adulting. So buckle up as I take a joyride through the quirks of our generation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can find me at Jessica Flowers or right here on the Millennial Mind. Today we're tackling a topic that's as universally dreaded as Monday mornings. Yes, adulting. Yes, that's right. We're talking about why being an adult is completely overrated. I mean, who knew that being a grown-up meant having to deal with taxes, bills, and, my personal favorite, adult responsibilities? Seriously, I didn't sign up for this when I was binge watching cartoons on a Saturday morning. I thought adulting would be more like episodes of Friends, where everyone had perfectly clean apartments and their biggest problem was who to date next. Speaking of Friends, has anyone else ever wondered how they managed to afford all those apartments in Manhattan? I mean, were they secretly millionaires, or did they just never mention their third job that paid for those spacious, perfectly decorated spaces? So let's start with the basics. Remember when we were kids and we would fantasize being an adult? We pictured ourselves driving fancy cars, living in spacious apartments, and eating cereal for dinner whenever we felt like it. Well, turns out reality is just one big mess of paying rent, handling laundry, and trying to figure out what we should cook or if we should just order takeout again. And let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, it's takeout. There's something strangely satisfying about knowing you can order sushi at 10 p.m. just because you feel like it. And can we talk about the never-ending cycle of chores? I swear I'm on a constant quest to find the magical adulting manual that tells me how to keep my apartment from looking like a tornado hit it. Spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Instead, I just end up Googling how to get rid of mystery stains and wishing I had a fairy godmother that could wave their wand and make my life easier. Or call my mom for the 10th time about how to boil an egg. I swear, I wish I could take her everywhere with me so she can do it all because she seems to embrace adulting. Does anyone else feel like they've become the human equivalent of a clumsy puppy when it comes to household tasks? The other day, I tried to hang a picture, and let's just say it's now permanently tilted to the left. But hey, I'm calling it artistic flair. Then there's the financial aspect. Remember when budgeting seemed like something only people in the movies did? Now it's my reality. I'm out here trying to balance my checking account while pretending that those monthly expenses aren't gonna bankrupt me. I even tried to follow a budget app once, but it just ended up being a fancy new way to show me how much money I don't have. And don't even get me started on the unexpected expenses that pop up, like car repairs or medical bills. It's like the universe is playing a cruel joke on us, just when we think we're getting ahead. And let's not forget the social pressures of adult life. We're expected to have our lives together, but in all reality, we're just trying to avoid awkward conversations at family gatherings about why we don't have our act together. I mean, do I really have to explain why I don't have a 401k or why my idea of a balanced diet is a bag of chips and soda? And speaking of family gatherings, does anyone else have that one relative who's convinced you're secretly a billionaire because you don't have kids yet? As if having children automatically means I have stacks of cash lying around. Something that perfectly encapsulates the chaos of adult life happened this week. My sister-in-law had to starting the school year on Tuesday with a major juggling act, taking her 2 kids to 2 different schools. I mean, talk about a logistical nightmare. So, in true supportive fashion, I sent her and the kids some Starbucks via DoorDash because if there's one thing that can make a crazy day a bit better, it's caffeine and a sweet treat. And let's be real, I might have ordered myself a little something too, because helping with other people's chaos deserves a reward, right? And then there's my husband, who's supposed to be working on a big project for work. Instead, he's been 3D printing everything under the sun. Yes, he's also printing a circular sock knitting machine for me, but all the 3D printed toys and gadgets are a reminder that while adulting might come with serious tasks, there's always room for a bit of creative distraction. I have to admit There's something endearing about watching him get excited about his latest 3D creation. It's like seeing a kid in a candy store, except instead of candy, it's tiny plastic models of who knows what. Let me also tell you about our latest adventure. Last week, we discovered that we needed 2 new tires on our only car because, get this, wires were showing. Yes, wires. I was basically driving around in a rolling statement of, "Help, I'm about to blow up." So, with the car in the shop, I had to Uber to work, which was like an episode of a reality show where you get to meet a series of colorful characters and still end up late to everything. Let's just say if I had $1 for every time I said, "I promise I'll be there soon" to my boss, I'd be able to buy a brand new car. It's a reminder that adulting isn't just about paying bills and doing laundry. Sometimes it's about surviving tire crises with your dignity and your sense of humor still intact. Now, I don't want to make adulting sound all bad because there are some serious perks. For example, I've discovered the joy of not having a curfew. Yes, I might stay up late, binge watching a show, and I'll pay for it the next day with a serious lack of sleep, but the freedom to choose my bedtime is still a win. And let's talk about late night binge watching. Does anyone else feel a little too invested with the lives of fictional characters? I swear, there are moments when I'm more concerned about plot twists in my favorite show than in my actual life. And speaking of wins, let's talk about grocery shopping. I never thought I'd find so much joy in picking out my own produce and planning meals. It's a bit of a gamble whether that avocado will be ripe or just a green rock. But hey, that's all a part of the adventure. Plus, I can buy as many snacks as I want without sneaking them past my parents. Though, I have to say, I'm still mastering the art of shopping on a budget. Every time I walk down the snack aisle, it's like my self-control goes out the window. But hey, if buying an extra bag of chips is wrong, I don't want to be right. Another unexpected upside is learning to cook. I've had some culinary disasters for sure, like the time I thought I could make a 5-star meal and ended up with something resembling a science experiment gone wrong. With each kitchen fail, I've learned more about what I like and what I don't like. And hey, I can now make a mean chocolate chip cookie from scratch. There's something deeply satisfying about creating a meal from start to finish, even if the process sometimes involves setting off the smoke alarm. And speaking of cooking, let me just say the first time I successfully made a dish that wasn't a total disaster, I felt like I conquered the world. Who knew that mastering a recipe could give me such a sense of accomplishment? Now, let's not forget the value of adult friendships. I found that as we get older, our friendships become deeper and more meaningful. We might not have time for spontaneous hangouts or sleepovers, but when we do catch up, it's often with real conversations about our lives, struggles, and dreams. It's a reminder that even if adulting is tough, we're not doing it alone. And let's take a moment to appreciate those friends who's been with us through thick and thin. The ones who don't judge us for our messy apartments or our questionable life choices. The ones who are always there with a glass of wine and a listening ear, no matter how crazy it gets. And here's a fun one. Have you ever had the thrill of finding a hidden gem of a deal? It's like an adult treasure hunt, whether it's snagging a great discount on a pair of shoes or discovering an amazing sale on Shein for something you didn't know you needed. Those moments are tiny little victories that make daily life a bit sweeter. And let's be honest, there's nothing quite like the feeling of scoring a great deal. It's like winning the lottery, but instead of millions, you get a half-price blender. And I'll take that victory any day. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the simple pleasures of adulthood, like finally having the freedom to decorate your own space. Sure, my apartment might not look like the interior design magazine, but it's my cozy mess, and I love it. I get to choose what goes on the walls and where my favorite plants go. It's a small but meaningful way to express who I am. And here's a bit of wisdom I've picked up. Sometimes we have to embrace the chaos of adulting to truly appreciate the moments of calm and clarity. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, but these experiences help us grow. So, here's to finding the humor in our adulting adventures. Even though it can be tough, it's also what makes our journey unique and meaningful. And let's be honest, I'd never, ever go back to high school. I'll take my messy, unpredictable adult life any day over reliving those awkward teenage years. Oh, and speaking of school, let's all wish everyone luck, whether you're a student, a parent, or just someone trying to navigate the chaos of August. I hope you find some peace among the madness. And let's face it, if we can get through the back to school rush and all the other adulting hurdles, we can pretty much handle anything. Thanks for tuning in and letting me share my struggles and laughs with you. Remember, we're all in this together. And sometimes the best way to handle the messiness is to embrace it and turn it into something great. Until next time, keep smiling and keep making the most of every moment, adulting or not. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive and had a few laughs along the way. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. Your support keeps this Millennial Mind ticking. If you have any thoughts, questions, or stories you'd like to share, hit me up on social media at Jessica Flowers. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to keep your mind curious, your spirit bold, and your coffee strong. Until next time, this is Jessica Flowers signing off. Bye.